success to its extroverted lead singer, David Lee Roth, a man who seems to have limitless energy. David Lee Roth spoke recently with Kathy Lee Johnson.
Sound familiar? The lead voice behind the current recycled hit California Girls is none other than David Lee Roth, the outrageous lead singer of the rock group Van Halen in his first solo outing. For the last 11 years, Van Halen has been a hugely popular, yet widely unheard of band. But the year 1984 changed all of that with the album called 1984. Giving the group their first #1 pop hit and directing the spotlight squarely on the flamboyant face and physique of David Lee Roth.
The whole joy of what we do is being together and communicating that music from each one of us to each other, the four of us. You all are invited. It's the whole experience of being together, of creating together, performing together, arguing together. That whole camaraderie is intrinsic to the music. There would be no Van Halen without that.
What do you think is the most unique thing that Van Halen brings to rock and roll? Why are you different?
I think Van Halen can deal storm and thunder. Van Halen can go down to the beach with a sword in one hand and a torch in the other and still inject a sense of humor. I call Van Halen's music an entire pretense big rock. Like I said, it's a combination of the gypsy roving carnival, circus, daycare center, you name it. It's everything all wrapped into one. It's a big parade. It's very festive, you know.
You have such a physical act. The things you do on stage are very acrobatic. How do you prepare for a tour?
For me, personally, music was always primarily physical. Doing things on stage that are difficult to learn, risky to perform, are always the most satisfying to the audience. It smacks of a little bit of homework and a lot of finesse, and even more than that, daring. There's a move that I did on stage this year where you go into the splits and then you flip up onto your shoulder and land back into the splits and flip up onto your shoulder and back into the splits. As I approach the move, the audience knows that I probably can't do it. I'm figuring tonight I probably can't do it. I get down, I make the attempt, probably demonstrate that I couldn't do it, and the audience goes berserk and applauds the effort. I'm not Jeffrey Hines, I'm not Baryshnikov, I'm not trying to achieve a standard of excellence in the dance field or or the singing field, obviously. But I do take it seriously.
Van Halen's been criticized a lot for an attitude about women. What would you say is your attitude about women?
I think that if you listen closely to Van Halen's lyrics, and I have written every single one of them, you won't find one sexist lyric, you won't find one victimizing sort of thinking, you won't find that victimization tact of thought.
A lot of people get bitter in this business. Why hasn't that happened to you?
I think a lot of people enter this business with a lot of problems already. It's just they're couched and they won't dish them up. They certainly won't dish them up to you in an interview. They come in with a lot of bitterness. They come in with a lot of problems and then only compound it through drug use, drinking, the stress in terms of hours and responsibilities that are heaped upon them or that they heap upon themselves through excess, laziness, sloth, egotism, just like any other major corporation.
In that sense, I guess it is. What about anything you'd change about your life?
I don't think there'd really be anything that I would change in my life. Sure, there's little bits and pieces, everybody's Tuesday morning quarterback, but I think I've made steady progress. Seems like it's progress. Maybe, like I said, in North Dallas 40, things don't get any better and they don't get any worse, but they sure got different. And that's good enough for me.
Do you think you'll ever be married?
Absolutely. I could definitely imagine myself married, but it would take a very, very strong woman to deal with me.
What makes you happiest in life?
What makes me the happiest in life? I sell smiles for a living. Here, have one free. That looks good on you. That's what makes me happy.